At exactly 2:17 a.m., emergency dispatcher logs recorded a call that would later be replayed hundreds of times by detectives, analysts, and federal investigators. The voice on the line belonged to a man who identified himself as Evan Holloway. He spoke slowly, carefully. No panic, no screaming, just controlled urgency. "My name is Evan Holloway," he said. "I've been kidnapped." There was no screaming, no frantic breathing, no sounds of a struggle. The dispatcher followed protocol, but something immediately felt off. Kidnapping victims don't usually sound calm. They beg, they whisper, they cry. The dispatcher followed protocol. "Sir, where are you calling from?" "I don't know," Evan replied. "Somewhere outside the city. It's dark. I think I'm in a basement." Just a steady voice, oddly controlled, as if he were reporting a stolen vehicle instead of his own abduction. The line crackled. There was a pause, long enough to feel intentional. "They took my phone," he continued. "I don't know how I got it back, but I don't have much time." The call lasted 94 seconds. The dispatcher initiated an emergency trace. What appeared on the screen made no sense. The GPS location placed Evan Holloway's phone inside his registered home address, specifically the master bedroom. Police were dispatched anyway. Kidnapping calls were never ignored, especially not when the caller sounded this composed. When police arrived at the quiet suburban house 15 minutes later, they found no signs of forced entry. Doors were locked, windows intact, alarm system armed. Evan Holloway was gone, but his phone was plugged into a charger on the nightstand. Evan Holloway was 41 years old, a senior compliance analyst, married, one teenage son. No criminal history, no known enemies. He wasn't wealthy, he wasn't reckless, and he wasn't the kind of man police expected to hear from during a kidnapping. To neighbors, he was forgettable, the kind of man you wave at but never really know. That's what made his disappearance so unsettling. His wife, Laura Holloway, told police she had gone to bed around 11:30 p.m. She wore earplugs every night due to insomnia, a habit confirmed by friends and co-workers. She woke up to police standing beside her bed. Her reaction was exactly what investigators expected. Confusion, panic. "What do you mean he called you?" she asked. "He was right here." But the bed told another story. Evan's side was untouched. No impression, no wrinkled sheets, as if no one had slept there at all. Police searched the house thoroughly. Wallet, kitchen counter, car keys hooked by the door, laptop, desk upstairs, passport, locked drawer. It was as if Evan Holloway had evaporated. What investigators uncovered next would expose a level of planning so precise that even death couldn't stop it. Evan Holloway had reported his own kidnapping, but according to every piece of evidence in that house, he had never left. No ransom message followed, no suspicious withdrawals, no threats. And just as investigators prepared to label Evan Holloway officially missing, his phone rang again. The second call came at 1:04 p.m., broad daylight. Same number, same voice, but the tone was different. "They're close," Evan whispered. "I shouldn't be talking." The dispatcher asked who had taken him. "I never saw their faces," he said. "They keep the lights off." He described being bound to a chair. He said the room smelled like mold and gasoline. He claimed he heard trains passing nearby, an odd detail investigators took seriously. Investigators leaned in. Rail lines narrowed the search area significantly. Then Evan said something no kidnapping victim had ever said before. "I think I already paid them," he murmured. The dispatcher asked him to explain. Another pause, longer this time. "I think this started a long time ago," Evan said. "Before I understood what I was involved in." The line went dead. This time, the GPS ping placed the phone 30 miles away, near an abandoned industrial corridor with defunct rail lines. A massive search followed. Warehouses were cleared. Basements were checked. Nothing. But investigators noticed something unsettling. Between the first and second calls, Evan's phone had been actively used. Emails checked. News articles read. Banking apps opened. Not the behavior of a man bound in the dark. Detectives began to quietly ask, was Evan Holloway staging his own kidnapping? If Evan Holloway was restrained in the dark, who was browsing the internet on his phone? As investigators examined Evan's background, cracks began to form. Financial records showed something Laura never knew. Over 2 years, Evan had quietly taken out multiple personal loans. Not large sums, small strategic amounts. The money didn't go to gambling, or affairs, or luxury purchases. Reddit forums, obscure technical threads, searches like how to stage a believable kidnapping survival script, police response time ransom calls, voice synthesis emergency calls, GPS spoofing emergency response. When detectives brought Laura in again, they expected denial. Instead, she broke down. He was scared, she said. For months, he said someone was watching him, that he'd made a mistake he couldn't undo. She admitted Evan had once practiced what he'd say if he were ever taken. At the time, I thought it was a joke, she whispered. The case officially shifted from kidnapping victim to possible hoax. Public opinion turned fast. Commentators accused Evan of staging his own abduction for money, attention, or sympathy. The case was shifting from kidnapping to something far more disturbing. Then, 5 days after Evan vanished, a body was found. At 3:32 a.m., a jogger discovered a decomposing body near a drainage culvert on the outskirts of the city. Wrists bound, head wrapped in duct tape. Dental records confirmed the unthinkable. It was Evan Holloway. The call stopped instantly. The media declared the case solved. Evan had been kidnapped and murdered. The case appeared solved. Except, the autopsy told a very different story. The medical examiner estimated Evan had been dead for at least 10 days. That meant he was already dead before the first emergency call was ever made. Which meant one thing, he never made those calls. If Evan Holloway was dead, who had been calling the police in his voice? The answer came from a detail everyone had missed. Evan's phone logs showed something subtle but damning. The calls hadn't been placed using his voice. They had been placed using a voice replication app, one Evan himself had downloaded weeks before his disappearance. Investigators reconstructed the timeline. Evan had recorded dozens of voice samples: stress, whispering, fear. The calls weren't live. They were scheduled. GPS locations spoofed. Calls timed. Narrative controlled. Evan Holloway hadn't been kidnapped. He had orchestrated everything. Months earlier, he discovered something devastating. His firm was under federal investigation, and Evan was the quiet fall guy, his name tied to transactions that would land him in prison for decades. Evan didn't run. He didn't confess. He designed an ending. He recorded dozens of voice samples, scripted the calls, scheduled the GPS pings. The final twist came from his financial records. Every dollar he'd moved into those shell accounts had been legally transferred to his wife and son. After his declared death, insurance paid out. Charges vanished with him. The investigation closed. And the most chilling part? The final file on his phone was a text document. If this is being read, then the story worked. Evan Holloway didn't disappear. He authored his own ending and made sure the world believed the version he left behind. If this story unsettled you, that's because it was designed to. Subscribe to Hidden Motives for more cases where the truth hides in plain sight.